Hey guys, it's Maxine and thank you so much for watching. So in today's video, I'm doing another color block video and my client wants to go really dark up top and really like silvery icy underneath, kind of like Harry Potter Slytherin vibes, like Malfoy's mom. But yeah, I'm really excited to do this color today. This is my client. I've done like a balayage on her before, and in between she ended up going somewhere and getting it professionally darkened. But then even before that, like even before I balayaged her hair, she ended up doing like a box color at some point. So we have a couple of different, starts to her hair history here. And as we lighten it, I have like an idea on how it's going to lighten, but surprises can always happen. With box color that's been previously colored since her hair is so long. But yeah, so at least the last time she got it colored, she did go get it done professionally. So hopefully we won't have too much problems lifting this out today. But yeah, I'm excited for another color block video. These are really fun and exciting, and they're definitely trending now. So definitely don't forget to subscribe to my channel, especially if you guys want to see more color videos in the future. Hit the bell for post notifications so that you're always notified every time I upload a new video. Definitely like this video if you did. Follow me on Instagram. It's at Maxine Glynn. I'm going to leave it linked in the description. I always post my formulas on all of my posts, so you can use that to like refer to whenever you're doing your formulas. Also, definitely leave me a comment down below asking me any questions if you have any. I'll definitely answer everything I can. And okay guys, if you want to see me do this color block video, very icy silvery on the underneath, then definitely keep watching. I'm starting off by mixing Light Master with 30 volume, and I'm going to be mixing 40 volume into this also to make that kind of in-between volume, the 35, because I definitely want enough strength, but we might not need 40, so I can always overlap something stronger if I need to, but since she has such long hair, I don't want to push it. And I'm also adding in some Olaplex. That's another reason why I added some 40 into it, just to kind of bump it so that the Olaplex doesn't weaken it at all. And I really like my lightener at like a medium consistency. I hate when it's too thick because I feel like it's going to dry out and stop working. But I also feel like if it's too thin, it's not strong enough. Like there's not enough lightener in it. But yeah, anyway, now I'm sectioning out the underneath where I want to put the iciness. And I'm definitely just asking my client if she wants to see the iciness coming through like on her face frame too, or if she just wants to see it underneath by like where her nape is. And we definitely agree that she wants to see it coming through her face frame also. I suggested that to her. I feel like that's definitely the best thing to do because you'll see more of that fun color coming through. If it's just like on the underneath by the nape, you will probably barely see it unless you put your hair up. So yeah, I'm glad that she considered putting it like, towards the ears and stuff. And I'm definitely going to start my lightener on the nape part just so that's like the safest. So it just in case I have to rinse anything off, I'm not getting the rest of it wet, you know what I mean? So I'm just sectioning off behind the ear and pushing the sides off to the front and starting in the nape as the first piece. I'm definitely leaving the lightener a good ½ inch off of the scalp, and I'm also leaving it off of the very ends because we definitely want to try to keep the integrity of her hair. So I'm just going to leave it off of those areas, and I'm definitely leaving this off of the scalp about a ½ inch because the fresh regrowth is going to lighten so fast to like that pale yellow and everything. So I definitely want to give a chance for like the mid shaft where all of the artificial color is to definitely like lighten up and bump out as much as possible before we start lightening the easy parts. And I'm also making sure to take thin slices so that I can really saturate this lightener around the strands. And I'm separating it off with foils, and it's just good to use foils because you're distributing the heat really evenly, the heat that comes from the scalp, or if I pop her under the dryer, which I will be doing, it just helps to distribute the heat evenly between each slice. So yeah, I'm, sectioning this off into foils. And yeah, I probably should mention the reason why I want the heat to be distributed evenly is because it'll just give us the best chance for this to lift evenly. Yeah, just knowing like her hair history, we want this to definitely not have any bands or any splotches or any kind of like weird lifting. The best chance for this color to come out amazing is if it lifts evenly, because even if we have to settle for like a darker version of what we want, as long as it lifts evenly, it's gonna look good. But obviously if it lifts with weird bands and all this crazy stuff, then it would definitely be a different situation, and you got to kind of work with whatever pops up, especially during corrective colors, which this is kind of considered a corrective color because you just don't know how it's going to lift. But like I said, I have a pretty good idea of how this is going to lift, knowing the hair history. And yeah, just go with the flow and don't be stressed about colors because everything's manageable and fixable and adjustable and all that, especially if you know your color wheel. And yeah, so I'm just going to continue up this hair with the lightener, really saturating it. Like, don't be cheap on the, lightener here. I always tell my clients I start with like a base price because I know I'm going to mix a certain amount of color, and if I need to go up in the price because I need to mix more color, it's just necessary because there's no reason to go like cheap on the color and trying to like spread this out when you really just need to saturate the pieces like so well, because that's just how you're going to get like the most amazing color is if you're really, really saturating this color. So I'm saturating the lightener really good. Later, I'm going to saturate the toner really well, and then the actual, like color that we want, like the silver color, everything gets saturated so well because you just have the best chance of this coming out really, really good. So now I'm folding up where I have the foils because I really want the mid shaft and the ends to definitely get a lot of heat as well. And I had her under the dryer for about 15 minutes. And now it's time to put on the roots because as you can see, like everything's a very warm yellow, kind of like still very gold, but it's definitely time to go ahead and start putting this on the roots. So I'm just pulling out all these foils and I'm just, taking thin slices and painting this all over her roots. And I did mix up a new batch of lightener, and this time I used 20 volume because 20 volume at the scalp is the safest. You don't really want to put something too strong on the scalp. And yeah, I'm definitely saturating this really well as well, and I'm going to be separating this into foils after when I work my way back up to the top of the head again. But yeah, right now I'm just starting from the top and going down because I don't want any of this lightener to touch like the very, very top of the head where we want that dark color to be. And as you can see, I'm definitely doing this in sections. The sides of the head still has the foils on it because that's not done processing. But I did do the back of the head first, so that's why this is definitely, ready for this step, and the sides aren't quite ready for this step yet. But yeah, definitely just, you have to time out your colors like appropriately. And I used to, when I started out, put different timers on each section, but now I can kind of just have like a mental note of, what's going on, how long I've had each section on for. But if you're still like starting out, definitely like timers are a good thing because when you're like really concentrating on what you're doing at the time, it's hard to concentrate on how long each section has been on. That definitely gets easier with time, but yeah, so I had her under the dryer for about 15 minutes, and that was like my timer for the back. And as you can see, I sped this part up. I'm not quick like this in real life. I wish I was. Wouldn't that make the life so much easier? But yeah, I sped this up just so that you can just kind of get through this part because it's repetitive, obviously. But at this point, I'm definitely super happy on how this is lifting. Everything seems to be lifting really, really evenly. There's no like weird bands or anything. And even though the ends like are still a little bit of a golder color than, like the higher up towards the roots are, it's like really not that big of a deal because we might be cutting some of this off at the end anyway, which we weren't quite sure of how long we wanted to keep this. We really want this silver color to pop underneath. So obviously if the ends don't lighten as much as we wish it does, then we might be cutting some off. So yeah, I'm just going in and now I'm starting to work my way back up on the head, and I'm resaturating some of this mid shaft with the stronger, even though it's 20 volume, it's definitely, the newer color that I mixed up, the newer lightener, and whenever the lightener is newer and fresher, it's stronger. So I'm just kind of resaturating some of these pieces to just strengthen it a bit and resaturate. And I'm just separating this into foils and working my way back up to the top of the head. And it seems a little bit weird, like I just painted this all down. Why am I doing this again to go back up? But in all the colors that I do, I always do this like extra step of perfectionism because seriously guys, it's so worth it going back in and doing an extra step, even though it's like more work and annoying or whatever. I don't find it annoying. I know I'm perfecting it, so I like it, but some people would consider this a bit extra to, repaint certain spots. But I just feel like it's so worth it in the end because your color just comes out that much better knowing that you perfected it, and it's just always worth it. So go for it, do the extra step, do the extra work. It's always worth it in the end. But I'm also using this opportunity going back up to, like I said, resaturate, strengthen some of the ends, and painting this all the way down to the very ends. And I'm definitely folding up the ends and putting them into the foils because I want the ends to now get a lot of heat as well. And I'm going to be doing the same thing, like folding up the foils so that they really get to sit underneath the dryer and they're not like hanging out the bottom of the dryer. But yeah, that's definitely something that I do a lot. Like I'll use extra clips and I'll fold up some of the foils so that they get a lot of heat. And like I said, I'm definitely happy with how this lifted and how even it is, but I'm still hoping that this gold will definitely budge out, because to get this lighter silver color that we're looking for, like the iciness, we definitely need this dark yellow gold, kind of even like a slight orange still, to bump out of the hair fully. Like that's the only way we're going to get this icy color in the level that we want, because we want that like level 10, or you know, we don't want to have to go for a level 8, but yeah, we're just, you know, going with the flow. But at this point, I'm just still hoping that this budges out a bit, and I guess we will see, so stay tuned. So now I'm just putting a foil horizontally, like along the top, just so that I'm really covering like the other parts of the roots towards the sides, because I just want to cover most of this. Like I don't want it to dry out when I put her back under the heat. So that's why I'm putting a horizontal foil, just so that it can kind of go towards the sides also. And now I'm just doing the same thing on the sides. I'm putting the lightener on the root. Remember, this is 20 volume mixed up with the lightener. And yeah, I'm just really saturating this really good everywhere. And the rest of this looks really good. It definitely lifted really nice and even, and it has more of that yellow to it. Like it's definitely closer to like that banana yellow, pale yellow stage, which is great. And that's definitely just telling me that we can get even closer to our goal, and we don't have to worry about going too dark of a silver. We can definitely get to a light silver now that we're in this like lighter yellow stage. So that's literally perfect. And now I'm just adding the foils to the ends and pulling the lightener through to the ends and folding them up into the foil just like I did with the back, and then overlaying another foil over the top. The sides are definitely going by way quicker, you know what I mean? Like there's less hair on the sides, so definitely quicker. The back is what took me the majority of the time. But yeah, we're almost done with the lightener. After I do this, I'm going to be popping her back under the heat for another 15 minutes and checking it, and then probably rinsing out the back and then one side at a time until it all just kind of meets to that light yellow stage. Okay, so I rinsed all of the lightener out, and her hair is pretty porous, so it definitely absorbs a lot of water. And hair always looks a lot darker when it's wet, but we definitely have to tone some of this warm gold out. But the ends definitely didn't lighten as much as the roots did. That's to be expected though, because of all of the other color she had on her hair, which is fine. We decided that we were going to cut a bit off of the ends anyway, so it really doesn't matter anyway. And yeah, and that actually would make the lighter silver color pop more in the end, with the ends not dragging it down with like that darker tinge, you know? So yeah, this is the during. It always looks really crazy. And I always give my clients a fair disclaimer and warning, and definitely warn them about this crazy in-between stage, because this never looks good, ever. But yeah, I decided to dry the hair definitely before I did any glazing or toning, because I really want the hair to absorb like this tone so that we can get this close to this icy color. And for the glaze that I'm using on this part, I mixed up Matrix Color Sync 10V, 10P, 8P, and Disco Silver. The Disco Silver is a part of the So Color cult, but I used the Disco Silver in the demi so that I can mix it in with the Color Sync. And yeah, I'm leaving this on dry hair for 20 minutes, and I'm really going to let this just tone as much as possible. But yeah, she has lots of hair, so I definitely mixed up a fair amount of color. And yeah, I sped this part up also just so that you guys don't have to sit through this for too long. But I'm basically just doing the same thing. I'm working my way down the hair so that I'm not overlapping. I don't want this to really touch the top part. So I'm just working my way down. And I actually I didn't even rinse or wash the top part. I just left it up in the clips because there was no reason to go through all that extra work, you know. But yeah, I'm just doing like a single process, working down the head so that it doesn't touch the top, and I'm going to be putting it on the ends. And yeah, same thing, just super good at saturation because I definitely want this to tone as well as possible. And I already told my client there's a really good chance that we're going to be doing a second glaze because it depends on how this color actually takes on the hair because of the darker like gold that's in the hair. I definitely want to leave it open for a possibility of doing a second color because the goal with this first toner is I definitely wanted to get this as light as possible, like keep the hair as light as possible without having to like go darker for no reason. Like, but if this doesn't budge out this color enough, then we're definitely going to have to go darker. And yeah, not only do we want to keep this as light and icy as possible, but we definitely also want to have that silver color. So I already know what I'm going to mix up if I need to do a second color to get like that true silver color. But yeah, we'll just see how it goes. And yeah, as you can see, it's already toning it pretty good. And while that's processing, I figured I would just go ahead and start painting the top part and getting this top part pretty dark. And so I'm just laying down some foils and kind of just making sure that the top dark color doesn't touch on this color. And I'm going to let this sit on for like 20 minutes also, but I guess the underneath is going to sit on for longer than just 20 minutes. But honestly, it doesn't matter. The longer that this toner underneath sits on, the better. And yeah, so for this top part, the formula is still Matrix Color Sync, and I just mixed up 5N and 6N because I definitely wanted to go darker than her natural, but we didn't want to go too dark. Like, I definitely didn't want to give her black hair, but we definitely wanted like that rich dark brown because that just looks so cool next to the silver color, and it's like true Slytherin vibes, you know, dark brown, silver. It just looks so cool. So yeah, and then the way that I'm applying this is I didn't want any of this dark to touch on this blonde underneath, so I just started around by painting the hairline and the whole perimeter of it, and then I split it down the middle, and I'm just doing like a regular single process touch-up type of thing. And once I get it all over the roots, I'm going to just start painting it on the ends, and I'm going to clip it up on the top of her head, and I'm going to let that all sit for about 20 minutes and then wash that all down. And yeah, I'm just using the foil here as like a protection while I'm putting this all over the ends just so that it doesn't touch the underneath. And yeah, remember guys, if you have any questions about anything that I've been doing in this color so far, or about anything, whether it's this lightening or the color or the formulas or anything, just leave me a comment down below in the comment section and I'll definitely answer all the questions. And if I get enough questions, I'll definitely maybe even come out with just like a full Q&A video or something. So yeah, definitely leave me a comment down below asking me any of your questions. And now I'm just laying a shower cap over the head just to lock any of the heat in that's produced by the scalp. And I'm going to let this sit and process. And now I washed everything down. I washed and conditioned everything. And now I'm just drying the underneath to assess what the color looks like. And the roots look pretty good. and even the very front by the hairline looks really, really good, but the rest of it still has this like kind of neutral tinge to it. We're definitely not wanting to see any neutral or color here, like normal, natural colors, I mean. We want this to be a really icy silver color, so definitely going to do my second formula that I had in mind that I knew was a very good chance that I was going to be doing, and yeah, so I mixed up Matrix So Color Cult in Semi, and I mixed up Stonewashed Denim, Disco Silver, and Dusty Purple, and I forget which one comes out like super green, but definitely don't be alarmed that it literally looks like a mossy dark green, because the second it touches the hair, it turns into this like perfect titanium smoky color. So it's always just so funny, like I was laughing about it with my client, how it looks green, and a lot of stylists are actually really intimidated by So Color Cult because it looks like this weird green, but look, like you can see it's already turning into like this purpley dusty silver, really cool smoky color. So I'm just obsessed with this. I knew I was gonna have to use this, but you know, I always like to just go with the flow and see what happens. But yeah, so I mixed up a decent amount of this because of the amount of hair that she has, and like I said, I dried this already. I really wanted this color as well to absorb really good into the hair, so I dried the whole underneath. And as you can see, I'm leaving this color off of the root about 2 inches because that color on the root was super yellow as it lifted, so it really took the toner perfect, you know, and the ends didn't. So I want this all to be a very even color. I don't want like the roots to be super silver and then the rest is just like a normal silver. I didn't want the roots to look so much more opaque than the ends would be. It would all be like the same color, but it would look like just more opaque, like there was another layer of color. So I didn't want that to happen. So I just left it off of the roots about 2 inches to let the ends catch up to the roots. And then the last 5 minutes, I'm going to put it on the roots and mush it all through and let that sit on, you know. But I'm going to let this sit on for like 15 minutes and then the last 5 minutes do the roots. And yeah, I'm just going to continue applying this everywhere, leaving it off of the scalp, and just, you know, really saturate this as well, just like I did with all the other colors. Saturation is key. And yeah, I'm just going to continue this to the rest of the way. And I love watching the color work its magic while we're doing it, so check out how this looks. It's amazing. I'm obsessed with it already. It's so cool to see it come to light, and yeah, you can see that it's really taking the color super well. So like I said, the last 5 minutes I'll put it on the root and it'll all be a nice even color. So I've let this all process for like 15 minutes, and now it's come to the last 5 minutes, and I'm applying this all over the roots and saturating this really good. I'm just using any excess color that I have left over, and I'm running it through the ends because why not? It's good for the hair to get all this extra color on it. And yeah, I'm just kind of warming this up with my hands also. Like, not only am I mushing this through, but I'm just using like the heat from my hands to warm up the ends of the hair because that's just going to help even more with coverage. So yeah. And if you watch my other videos, you'll know that I love blow drying the front first, and usually I blow dry like the bangs part because that's where you see the face frame, but in this case I'm blow drying the underneath first because I really want to see, well, the underneath towards the face, you know, but I really want to see like the silver color, and yeah, we're obsessed with it already. And I always just love seeing the big reveal right away. I don't want to wait for it. So that's why I want to dry this piece that we really want to see first and getting this out of the way, just also to make sure that we do love the color and we don't need to adjust anything. But yeah. And my client was really excited to get this color because she wants to wear her hair like half up, half down. And I'm just explaining to my client in this moment that depending on how you part your hair, you'll get to see either all silver underneath, or if you part your hair a certain way, you can see like a streak of some brown coming in through next to it, which is really cool. But yeah, we're just having some fun and talking about the many possibilities of this cool Slytherin hair. And we've also decided in this moment to take some of the length off because I feel like still there's like a little bit of some natural color left over on the very ends, the parts that didn't lift fully, you know, to that like pale yellow that we wanted. And so yeah, my client's totally down and open to cutting some off, which is actually good because it's even closer to Malfoy's mom anyway. And yeah, this is just going to make the silver pop so much more, not having even the slightest bit of like a natural tinge, you know, next to it. So I'm glad that my client was open to trimming it, and this is what happens with corrective colors. Sometimes people just have to be open to trimming it and stuff, but we definitely took a lot of like this nice chunk off the ends, which needed to come off anyway. Like, it was just good that we took this off anyway. Because literally look how healthy the hair looks now with that little bit coming off the ends. Like, it's just a little bit goes such a long way, and it just looks so healthy and thick. And this client definitely has like extremely thick hair, like a lot of it. So there's no reason why the very tips of the hair or the ends should be thinner. So that just goes to show that she definitely needed a little bit of a haircut anyway, and it just worked out, and it really worked out well. And for anyone that wants to actually see me do the haircut, I'm just gonna, you know, show a little bit of me cutting her hair and freshening it up. And yeah, just leave me a comment in the section down below telling me if you do want to see haircut videos, because I can definitely put out some haircut videos also. I've been doing a lot of color videos, but yeah, just let me know if haircut videos are something that you're interested in, and I'll definitely do that in the future. And whenever I check my haircuts, I always make sure that it's even on both sides, because there's nothing that drives me more nuts than like lopsided hair, whether it's on my own haircut or somebody else's haircut. So I'm definitely perfectionist when it comes to making sure both sides are the same length. And now I'm just running through some waves. I wanted to give my client some like, not beach waves, but just like waves to smooth out the cuticle and just to kind of give this a little bit of some pop, you know, so you can see this silver color pop out from underneath this dark color. So yeah, I'm just really excited about this, and I love how this color turned out, and it's just nice to smooth out the cuticle. It kind of creates that shine, it adds some shine, and yeah, it's just really good. And her hair curls really good, like it just wanted to get super curly when I was doing it. So you can see I'm just kind of smoothing over that curl that I just curled and making it even straighter. Like I'm giving it a nice curl and then I'm smoothing it over to straighten it out again, because I want this to be like just like a very soft kind of lived in like wave, not like anything too curly or too wavy. And yeah, somebody that loves Harry Potter and loves just like the whole Harry Potter vibes, this was so cool to do like a Slytherin style, you know, hair color. It was just really fun to do. It's very like Death Eater, and if you know what Harry Potter is, you know what the hell that means. But yeah, and anyway, adding any type of a wave also adds this cool dimension. So when you have like this contrast with like a really light piece and a dark piece next to it, with the wave, you just see that dimension. You kind of see the two colors swirl together. It's just such a cool vibe. And literally look how cool this looks from the back with it all like sectioned off. You can really see like the pops of silver and brown like next to each other. It's so color blocked and very cool looking. And yeah, right when I'm done with the waves, I'm going to put some serum on my hands and break up all the curls with my fingers. And if you made it this far into the video, then you guys get to enjoy a little mini blooper that I left in. So if you get to this part, definitely comment down like a laughy face emoji.
Welcome back. Welcome back up. Just like, tell me it looks good, because I know it does.
I'm like, it looks so good. You're like, I know.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, I did it myself.
Oh my gosh, it looks so good. Okay, so this is the final result. This is how it looks like from the back, and it's pretty cool because it looks just like a normal balayage from the back, and it's just so fun because when you lift it up from the sides, you really get to see the silver. But yeah, I love how it comes out from the back. As I styled it, I picked up and I curled like these underneath pieces to melt into the top dark pieces, so it just looks cool and dimensional from the back. And yeah, it's just really fun from the side. Like, this is the coolest color ever. I swear if I had the bravery to do this kind of a color, I definitely would. So I lived through my clients and she's just really excited to be able to wear her hair half up, half down now and have this like cool style, very edgy type of a color block style coming through. And I pinned up the sides so that we can really see like the cool epicness of the color block style, where you really see like that pop of contrast with the silver and the dark brown. And yeah, we just love this color so much. And yeah, so that's it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I really hoped this helped you learn how to lighten hair and do a cool color block style. Definitely check out my other 2 color block videos that I have up on my channel already. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel to see color videos in in the future, and hit the bell for post notifications so that you're always notified every time I upload a new video. Definitely follow me on Instagram. It's at Maxine Glynn, and I post all of my formulas with all of the, details of my formulas. So definitely check out my Instagram. So I'll leave that linked below, and definitely don't forget to also like this video if you did. It really helps me out. And also I have an affiliate link in my description from hair.com. If you wanted to check it out, you'll get 15% off of your first order, and it's really good to get professional hair care products from trusted sites or trusted legally sold places. So hair.com is definitely something that you can trust, and check that out if you want to. And yeah, so thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!
So give me your all. I'll take it to Mars. Oh, I'll stick like glue inside your mind. Just watch me breathe.